Um, I was thinking about it, and I was like, wow, kids these days who are born in one of the letter categories, that is the LGBTQ etc. category, kids born like now, entering double digits, if you will, they have a media landscape that is saturated with diversity. And I know that, yes, we could always get better when it comes to representing characters that are in the letters, if you will. But compared to like when I was a kid or before I was a kid, I mean, there's like a lot of them. There's a lot of representation out there, a lot more, okay? But my whole thing is thinking this: I didn't really realize like how I felt or how I identified. I never had a need to come out, and the reason was because it didn't feel right to be like, oh hey, I like I'm a lesbian, because I actually don't even like saying those words right now, because I just never associated myself or felt that I was gay in this story. So it wasn't until my late 20s, literally, where I was like watching YouTube at some point, and I learned what transgender was, and I was like, what? And it was like click, 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 whoa. And when I had found that out, I literally immediately went back in time. Like, it was instant, where I remember being 3, 5, 7, 10, 12, 50, like all these moments in my life, like went through this whole thing. Like, holy shit, that makes complete sense. Oh my god, there's words for how I felt. Like it was just like mind blown. But then when you get into like the research of what the T means in transgender and all that jazz, you have your own definitions where people just don't accept you within the community if you're not on hormones. And I personally am not on hormones. I'm not saying that I would say no forever. I'm just saying I haven't had the dysphoria, if you will, that some people have had. Like, and there's like a thing going around now, if you type in like transgender and euphoria, instead of dysphoria, like there's it's like a new thing that we're all navigating as like a digital community, if you will. So there is a chunk of time where it's like, holy shit, that's me, yep, that's me. But then at the same point, but wait, is that really me? Because apparently, like, if you're trans, like, that means you have to do this and have this surgery, this, and then it was like, what am I even doing? And it's always a learning process in societal terms, great, but it's so crazy that I can sit here and think back to when I was a kid, and it's like, I've told my father this, it's like, Dad, like, hey, like, if I was born right now, based upon my childhood, growing up and acting out and voicing like how I felt, you legitimately would have taken me to a therapist, like, today, in this day and age. There's just like no question about it. The media has done its job enough to get into the minds of people to make it a thing. Okay? I mean, for Christ's sakes, like, the whole military transgender thing is a thing. It's a thing. Like, you can't avoid knowing it exists, if you will. But when I was a kid, it's like, there wasn't a thing. I wanted boy toys. I wanted boy clothes. I was throwing fits in stores if I didn't get my way, because I couldn't be like all the boys. And fits, when I tell you, like, there's kids who are like little fucking brats, which, yes, I was. But there are fits where it's like, something's wrong with your fucking kid, and that's like, that was me. It's just like, you would have paid attention to me differently if I was born today. And my parents were very like liberal minded without actually even knowing. Like, if I wanted like Ninja Turtles, I was Ninja Turtle fevered the fuck out. And Power Rangers, it was never questioned. In fact, it wasn't until I probably hit like between 9 and 11 where I started to actually like have a sense that, holy shit, wait, girls girls like Barbies? Oh, mom, hey, hi, I'm gonna need some Barbies for Christmas, because like that's what girls need, right? Like that. And so it was never questioned. It's just like, I wanted the turtles, I got the turtles. One day I wanted the Barbies, I got the Barbies. But it was like me having to associate with, like, holy shit, like, girls play with fucking Barbies, I need Barbies. I'm supposed to like Barbies, yeah? By the way, they were fucking boring, just throwing it out there. But growing up, it's like, whoa. And I started to realize all this shit, and it's like, I know that it's tough to be a kid in general, and a teenager in general, and a young adult in general, and even like an adult in general, and to go through these things where you feel different, and you don't know what the fuck's going on. But hey, it does get better, because guess what? At least there are words, and there are examples out there that do exist, and YouTube exists, no matter how many times you want to flag content because they're a bunch of cunts. That's right, I said it. That's the C word. See you next Tuesday. But there are things out there, and it is so much better than it was. Like, for Christ's sakes, like, if I was a kid and this shit existed, and I was on the goddamn internet when I was 10 years old, it's like, who knows how my life would have, like, been different, you know what I mean? Literally, it's mind-blowing. So if there are kids or teenagers or people watching this video that, you know, you do face these obstacles, and it is hard to deal with these things, but as a society, we are making strides, and I can only attest to what I've gone through. And if I wish that I was born like today, because I know that I had a support system and parents who would have been cognizant that these things exist. And unfortunately, just the timing was off, so it's like potatoes. Yeah. But yeah, that's my view. I don't know, if I had a kid right now, you know, a lot of people are like, let them choose what they want to play with, let them choose what they want to wear, you know. I would always let my kid do those things, but at some point, when you don't have the words because your brain is not mature enough to articulate them, like, you can only be like, I want this, or I like this, when you're that young. You know, being a knowledgeable parent and knowing that this is something, the word phase, this is a phase in all aspects, is needs to be eliminated, because it could be a phase, but you need to be, you know, aware that sometimes it's not a phase, and sometimes a kid who doesn't even fucking know anything could use support if you have the knowledge. And I'm just talking about you dealing with your kids, because, like, God forbid you go outside and you talk to your neighbor's kid and you're like, hey, you little man there, you seem like you could be a T or a G, or like, you can't, no, don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, I just think parents are on the cusp of, like, seeing signs and being able to listen better. So I just am making a rant video because I had this conversation with one of my good friends yesterday, and it just really clicked to me, like, how many things that I went through as an adolescent, as a kid, where it was just like, Jesus, if this would have happened now, like, life would have been a lot different. So parents, if your parents or yourself, just, these things exist, and it's okay, and nobody's fucking different, and it's just, it is what it is. You're allowed to be whoever you want to be, and sometimes you just need a little help, especially younger people, because sometimes they don't know. They don't know that it's okay. They don't know the words to describe themselves. They don't know that there's spectrums and fluidity. They are still raised where it's like sex is one thing and gender is its butt buddy, when it's not, and they're completely separate, and there are spectrums, and people just need to be open-minded to the sense that, like, doesn't matter where you live in the world, and it doesn't matter your age, your sex, it doesn't matter your age, or, like, your location. These things happen across all aspects of life, and that's all I gotta say. Is it spring yet? It's fucking shitty and raining. This is a 10-minute video. That makes me sad, because I don't even like to hear myself talk for that long, so I'm gonna go now. We're done.